yards sitting there. This will get us going for this year and give us some material and finish out this contract, and then we'll put out for bid again.
So how much are we paying for storage? Cause that's what this is. I thought we're paying $2 a yard.
That's just if they pull a yard out, we're paying $2, and they process it and they'll stockpile. All
Okay, so we're
we're paying is that
not paying
material.
for storage.
Nope.
Okay, cause I was reading lessee shall pay royalties per yard, so alright.
Yeah, that's just a $2 royalty for taking
To
his gravel.
take the gravel, we're not paying anything
Right.
stored out
No
of land for
storage,
5 years. Okay.
no monthly
Okay.
lease fee or nothing. Once the processing's done and it's sitting there, it sits there until, no cost, it sits there until we use it.
Alright. I misunderstood then. Thank
Yep.
you for the clarification.
That's all the legalese that I don't.
Anything else? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
And Kevin Shannon has signed it, so if you sign it, at that point, we'll.
I'll give them both. Okay, we'll do
Now we're back to
the bids.
the corrugated steel pipe bids. Okay, so this one is from Jensen Bridge and Supply Company. Okay, so these are gonna be quite detailed. There's a lot of different culverts. I don't know if you want me to read through every single one. Let's see, their bid prices are firm through May 1st. So these aren't lengthy contracts because of the price of steel fluctuates so much that none of them are gonna put that out too far. The delivery will be made within 15 days of purchase. I mean, I can go through each one of them if you want, or at the end, we can, about probably the same as the cold mix, we can move to accept all in the best interest. And then we'll fill out the bid tab and put that out for all of it.
Well, let's go at least, through the culvert, culvert.
Well, I'll tell you what,
prices.
let's,
Prices on those.
Then we'll leave the collar and the end sections off, and we'll just go through the culverts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 12-inch 16 gauge is $7.55. The 15-inch 16 gauge is $9.38. And this is per foot. So just know. The 18-inch 16 gauge is $11.45. 24-inch 14 gauge is $19. The 30-inch 14 gauge is $24.20.
30 or 36?
30.
We don't
We
have
don't
30.
have
Don't have a 30.
Oh, okay. Well,
36.
36-inch 14 gauge is $30.35. The 42-inch 14 gauge is $35.25. And the 48-inch 12 gauge is $55.30.
Reserve.
That was all that they had for tubes.
What was their total?
Well, we don't know because we don't know how many feet.
Right.
That's true.
Alright, so that's the first one. This one is from St. Regis Culvert.
No, I'm not.
let's see. So their bid prices are firm for 30 days from bid date. I don't know how you got on the sheets for freight, I don't know if they had that on the other one.
Delivery time,
Minimum load, we'll have to see if it's on there yet. Minimum load to include freight is $8,500.
Jensen Bridge didn't have a minimum and there was no delivery charge.
Okay. Thank you. So on theirs for 12-inch 16 gauge is $785. The 15 gauge or 15-inch 16 gauge is $945. 18-inch 16 gauge is $1185. 24-inch 14 gauge is $1920. I guess again 30-inch 14 gauge is $2415. The 36-inch 14 gauge is $2915. The 42-inch 14 gauge is $3485. And the 48-inch 12 gauge is $5525. Delivery is 28 days after receipt of purchase. It says minimum load's 8,500. And that's the basics.
Do they have any terms?
As far as, for payment terms?
Yeah,
1% net, 10 or
1%,
1%.
10, not 30.
10 net 30 days. Let's see, and the last one is Cadillac culvert. Okay, again, their terms are net 1%, 10, net 30 days. They say prices include full truckload delivery to your yard or job site as needed. For less than a truckload quantities, freight charges may apply. Prices are firm for 60 days. Alright, then their costs for the tubes are 12-inch 16 gauge, $838. 15-inch 16 gauge is $1042. 18-inch 16 gauge is $1260. 24-inch 14 gauge is $2140. 30-inch 14 gauge is $2677. 36-inch 14 gauge is $3222. 42-inch 14 gauge is $3936. And 48-inch 12 gauge is $58. Delivery is within 7 to 14 days after purchase. And that looks like principles.
you just pick one.
I guess I can't see them side by side, but
Jensen is the cheapest.
Don't mind my scribbles.
The last one, that 30-inch threw me off every time I was writing.
yeah, you're right.
It's on there.
The 36, 41, 48 lengths are a tad bit cheaper. A tad bit cheaper from St. Regis.
Very, yeah.
So
It doesn't matter what you order, you're never getting a delivery charge from Jensen Bridge. I don't care if you order one pipe, we're gonna bring it down to you, so.
Nice.
So it looks like they're all fairly close, but I mean, the smaller tubes are cheaper with Jensen. Other than the,
Typically, we probably don't use a lot of 36, 42, or 48-inch tubes, do we?
we do 36. Up to 36 is totally on us, no matter what it is. If it goes
Okay.
over 36, the 42 or bigger, that's where we have to start doing a split with the townships. Unless it's on primary road, then it's on us. But
Normally, we approve them all, and one reason is because of availability. Say if Jensen Bridge couldn't get it, we need it immediately and somebody else can.
Yeah.
But we normally we'll go to the cheapest, of course, but.
okay.
So you want to approve them all?
I would be okay with the motion if you guys made a motion to approve it in the best interest of the council.
Well, I guess, I mean, clearly, Jensen and St. Regis are
Pretty close.
really close. Cadillac is pretty much higher across the board.
Yeah.
And like it was brought up, freight charges mean a lot too, so.
Yeah, there's no freight charges on Jensen, so that's big.
Right.
So I would move that we approve the bids from Jensen and from St. Regis and, give the manager discretion to.
I'll support that.
Any discussion?
So you're gonna leave Cadillac off?
That's my
Yeah.
feeling.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Thank you. And I think you're gonna find out that the prices are gonna stay pretty steady. I don't-
They haven't fluctuated a lot
It-
lately.
It's been pretty good lately, and these are the lowest numbers we've quoted all year. And I don't expect them to jump anytime soon.
Well, we appreciate your
Thank you.
focus.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Again. Township contracts. We got Allen, Hillsdale, Pittsburgh, Woodbridge, and Welch. Allen, Fall Creek, bridge work, Hillsdale's, Ferndale, Bacon,
Did-
Pittsburgh Road, yes.
Did Alan decide they want to do this over 2 or 3 years?
Well, they're asking, and I think if you'd approve it, they're asking if they could at least have it over 2 years. I think they would like 3, but that's up to you. So right there, this year, they're only asking for, because of the bridge, they're only asking for, 1 round of brine, knowing this bridge is coming. So they're not really planning anything else.
So do we need to put that in our motion?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Because we didn't do that at all last year with
Do we
with
spread?
Scipio, they asked for the 2 years, Moscow asked for 3 years.
Or we didn't put it in last year?
Alright,
Well, I guess, to me, here would be a reason not to put it in the motion. I believe they have a small road millage right now, and they're going for renewal. And maybe asking for a little more, which is gonna be on the August ballot. That may impact what they can do.
yeah.
So I think it'd be good if that part of it we held off.
Okay.
And I think, I certainly am.
As long as we're in agreement,
Yeah.
we can agree with Alan
Right.
how to do it.
I'm certainly in favor of going to 3 years if we need to.
Well, I'm not opposed to that. I guess I would ask, is there any implication on our budget and what we can do by doing that? Probably not.
It's not a lot, it would just mean that we would be, as this money's expended, 356,000.
Right.
And this is a highway, so I don't expect it to be there, but we won't see that money back into our budget spendable for some years out, but if you split that in three, in the grand scheme of thing in our budget, when,
Okay, so you don't expect a negative impact. However, we wouldn't wanna do this all the time, but
yeah,
we're
we
not
couldn't do it with
getting asked.
everything,
Right,
but
we're not getting asked to do it all the
Right.
time. And this bridge is a large expenditure for a
Yes,
township.
for a
I mean,
township.
it,
any bridge is a large expense.
well, yes,
And this
yes.
particular bridge gets a lot of use.
Yes. And as long as this gets done and approved in the time frame like now, I'm hoping, and I've told them, we would like to have this all said and done, open back up before school starts.
Yeah.
Which, that's high on their priority.
And I'm impressed that they're even attempting this, because their budget's very small.
Yes.
I would move we approve the township contract.
I'll support the motion.
Any more discussion on it? If not, signify by saying,
Okay.
well,
I got one thing to make sure, there's asterisks on two of those, that's,
yes,
that's contingent on our availability of schedule, so once all contracts are in, we're gonna have to prioritize as to what we got and how much we can get done. Some might have to get pushed to 24, but that's gonna be prioritized on availability. The rest of them are strictly road stabilizations and that, and we will do all those as we go. It's just the projects we're gonna have to prioritize, once we get everything.
That's a different subject.
well, I would say Hog Creek would be a priority.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Hot Creek's not asterisk, that's,
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, yes, that'll be a
It'll
priority.
be number one.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
and that one might be, I mean, I guess a good reason to asterisk is just to make sure we can get all, I mean, once it's bid, that we can get the bridge there and get it done, I mean, kind of thing, I would assume. So,
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, same, motion carries. All right, we're splitting them off.
oh,
Who wants to take that set?
oh, I think we
Here's
should
another
sign
set.
one.
Once you approve the contracts, the prices are locked in. If you're not able to complete the project this year, you do it the following year at the same price.
No, it's still an estimate.
It's still an estimate, yeah,
You still have to
estimate's
pay
an
actual
estimate.
cost.
Nice
Throw the
try, Al.
lens.
Nice try.
That's why it's in red, this is an estimate.
Throw the lens.
All right, you want those?
All righty.
But they are, I think they're very good estimates where we shouldn't even think about hitting them, and it should actually be less, so.
There's three of them.
He's worried about the last year.
Those are signed by both of us.
Well, you don't even have any on here.
No, but he has
We
those
do
three
last
projects from
Or
last
last
year.
meeting.
Um,
And we're working on the ones from last year first, so they're doing pretty good with Sterling Road. And I think they're done with trees on Genesee, which was the big issue for the township.
That one's done.
Thanks, Gary.
That needs to, those are done, those need two signatures.
I'm already thinking about next year's projects. Those are gonna be big for our county.
What are you looking at?
And we can't have it in Carter the same year.
Same thing, yeah. As like a custom shape or overlay or?
Think we're getting close?
Overlay, I believe, yeah.
That would be good. I would vote for that. So would my wife.
So look at Abbott first and then Card after that, or?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of them.
And do we have to hold these and have Mark sign them too, or that's good for,
We haven't, we usually,
Yeah.
okay,
whoever's present.
still, or,
You'd have a quorum, so.
You picked the right day to be off.
Does he get his pay doc, he's not here to sign all these contracts.
Okay, public comment. Alan, Glenn? Nobody? Somebody say something.
I got a question. Camden Road from Camden down, I'd say 99, is there any plans on repaving that road soon? And I don't really find it funny, 'cause it's just literally tearing my
bad.
car
It's
up.
we've gone over this a lot, so that's why I just kinda.
That's what we're chuckling about.
Okay, all
I've
right.
actually.
I used to come to the meetings, but my new job kinda interferes coming out to with, township meetings and stuff, so, yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, that's gonna be about 400,000 a mile to crush and shape it and repave it.
Okay.
I talked to, last week we had a conference up in Lansing, which is our annual CRA conference. I talked to a group from, it's out of Michigan Paving, and that's one of the guys I deal with. They are gonna come down in the next week or two and take a look, cause they've got what they call like a paving, it's a box. It's not a paver, but it's they can make the size bigger or smaller, and they can go anywhere from like 2 foot to 4 or 5 foot. And what it does is they set it down, and cause that road has got like your 2 high spots, and it goes in where
Yeah,
the
oh yeah,
horses
no, I know what you're
go.
talking about, yeah.
Well, that box would sit on the 2 high spots and
I know.
scratch
I know exactly what you're
and
talking
pave
about.
it in. And then
Indiana does the same thing.
okay, and then
Yeah.
a small roller to compact that to fill that. Then that would allow us to just do a overlay on
Gotcha.
top of it.
Gotcha.
As long as the base.
Amish buggies,
What's that?
Amish buggies.
And there's probably other things, but yes.
Now, is there any plan in the future to maybe start charging Amish to do this? Cause they did in Indiana, it was a big deal down in Grayville. Buggies were tearing the road up, they wouldn't fix it, and they started complaining. Finally, they came to an agreement where they plate their buggies. Every year they plate, every buggy has to get plated. I don't know about the wagons, but I would assume since they're on the road, they should do the wagons too, to help with the cost of maintaining that.
Our legislature won't even touch that.
Really?
Well, that's all I can say is it's been pushed by multiple counties throughout the state, because there's up north, everybody's got issues with the Amish damaging the roads.
Cause I used to drive you guys, and they're all in for it, they wanted to do exactly what they were doing down in Leo. Hey, we'll do it, just make it so we can do it, cause we want nicer roads, and
Well, if anytime they wanna pay for anything, they can come and we can work with it.
okay.
But
We do accept
Hey,
checks.
well, you know
I will
what?
tell you, legislators, I will tell you right off the bat, there's no appetite for bucking heads with the Amish right now in the state legislature.
Okay, well, you guys were talking with, bishops, bring it up. I guarantee you, they will probably be open to the discussion. I mean, if you guys can work something out without getting the government involved, go for it. It's less money, less people getting paid, you know what I mean? So, cause I know they brought up to me many, many times, hey, we'll pay our fair share, we just want our roads taken care of,
And what it comes down to is when we talk about the townships aren't responsible for paying that money. However, we can only do it by law to have matching funds. It just says from some other source. It doesn't say the township. It can be a company, it can be the Amish, it can be a person, it just has to be some other source. So if they wanna come to the table and
Cause I know.
do that, we can.
It's about 3 years ago, we had so many roads that were such bad, Amish guys were paying gravel and everything to get put, especially Gilmore Road, that one guy did a whole section of that, cause they were sinking trucks. And if we're gonna do that, they will get together and form something, because, their kids go to school down those roads. There's a lot of things that involve just driving down the road, And, yeah, I would definitely start talking to the bishops, get a bishop meeting, say, hey, we wanna have a big congregation and see what we can do to come to a compromise on this, cause Carpenter Road's really bad too. That road from Reading all the way down to Cameron Road, that's in terrible shape. The other main road that really Amish don't use is Territorial from 49 to the state line. That road, I drive that every day, and when it rains, yeah, you're getting pushed off the road because the water just pools so much in the tire ruts. Is there any plans in the future with that?
Not right now,
No.
nothing.
Okay, that, I mean, yeah, last time it rained, I had a guy about coming to my lane, cause he got pushed out of his lane, you know, and it's getting bad. So, and then the last one would be Cambria Road, south of Camden. It goes downhill, there's a bridge, then it starts going uphill. That whole area, when it rains, turns into a muck hole. And usually this time of the year when if the ground's still frozen and it starts to rain and thaw, you will slide down that hill. And I about tagged a buggy last year. I mean, my car
What's
went
that between where and where?
from Camden Road south down to, there's a bridge at the bottom. That's, St. Joe River, I think, there. And then when you start going back up the hill, there's a big house on the east side of the road, a white house. There's an Amish guy that lives there. It just gets extremely muddy. About 4 years ago, they laid a bunch of like asphalt at the top of that hill.
I wanna say we just drove through that.
A grind, or what do they call
A
it?
million.
And that really helped. It really helped, but here in the last 2 years, it's just kind of wore away, buried, whatever, and yeah, you're sliding down the hill again when it's cold, frozen, and you get some kind of moisture rain. I mean, it's slick as snot. Buggies even will go sideways down that. I didn't know if they could do something about that. I noticed on the bridge, they got dirt stacked up like this high. I didn't know if somebody could scrape that off so the water would have a place to run off into the river, maybe dig a trench or so to help funnel the water away from the road, because it just lays in the road. The road goes like this. Just dig a little bit, get some water running, get it to dry up a little bit better, because it's not safe.
It's the first half mile south of Camden Road. It's the worst.
Well, that's the intent we need to do with a lot of roads around here, get that berm off of there so that the water can
I've been speaking
get
of
out
that for
there.
5 years, yeah. Yeah.
But it's gonna be, there's 585 miles of it that
Yeah.
it's gonna take us a while.
So is there any plan on getting a machine to do that, or?
We got one.
Yeah,
Sure.
okay.
So we will actually have a couple of crews out, one doing it the old style where they grade it out into the road and then pick it up with the grade, or the loader and put it in the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
The other one's a 4-speed loader where they grade it out, they'll just come behind the grader and it belts it into the truck.
Gotcha.
So that's a lot quicker. It's an old piece of equipment, it will probably break on us from time to time, but
Gotcha.
if we can have a couple crews out doing that, I mean, ideally we get to the point where that's all just real quick and under maintenance, but that's gonna be years.
Yeah.
To get the build up of berm that's there now, it's gonna be a long time to get all that off.
Gotcha.
But that's, some of these contracts are doing that. So,
Right. Sounds good. That's it for me.
Anything else?
I have something, at Moscow Township meeting, they have set, May 18th from 11 to 3 for their fire station open house. And there'll be food by Jerome Country Market. So, anybody wanna go see the expanded fire station in Moscow Township? May 18th 's the day.
Just as a reminder, Mosherville Road, the tunnel that they put under there, the culvert, they came back and regraded a little bit, so it won't hold as much water, they're still gonna do a little bit more grading to it, but that looks good. They're still asking, hey, what's the scoop with Bivens Road? And I'm like, well, as far as I know, it's kind of sitting still dead in the water. I don't know really what to tell them.
I thought the next move was for them to come back to us.
Well, and I think that's what they're kind of asking, what are we expecting or what are we looking for? I'm like, well, last I knew you were supposed to go talk to the residents. And I haven't heard anything else, I don't know about you guys, but.
I have not, at the conference last week, did anybody attend the abandonment session?
No, I didn't see that one.
I did.
Okay.
And I have paperwork on it, they had like a list of what had to happen to abandon, but the interesting part to me was is that if Stone Co. wants to abandon it, they can start the petition by having 5 property owners, I think they said freeholders, but I think that's property holders, And I think it's just in the township potentially, not necessarily on that project. If they
Yes, I
have
think it
5
has to be in the
freeholders sign the petition, they can start the petition and start the process. I will give you that paperwork so you have it. So I thought that was, it was interesting from my standpoint, because.
Those are a lot of those
Yes,
conference
yes.
sessions
Yes.
are very good, but you can't hit them all.
No,
Yeah, some-
exactly, and I couldn't remember if anybody else from Hillsdale County was
No,
in there,
I
but
didn't hit that one.
I did have that one, and I just like the little bullet sheet of kind of the
Yes,
process, so I.
I'd like that, and I could give it to Stone Cold and say,
Yes.
this is where you need to start.
Yes.
And that's exactly kind of what they're asking.
Yes,
so
and
that's
I
good.
think I also have like the act that supports that process too, so I will give that to you. I think you talked about sitting down with Bill Petrie and Stone Co. and having a discussion. Have you done that? Will you do that?
I will do it if they
Okay.
want, if they wanna get together.
Well, you'll have to call Bob, or Bill,
Okay.
he won't call you, so.
You
Well,
He calls me
I
all the
don't
time.
think, I mentioned that, but I don't know that he'll pursue it, I
Oh.
guess that's my point.
See if Stone Co's open to it, cause they gotta start somewhere if they wanna do it.
Right, right.
And that's totally up to them.
Right.
I don't know if they've even seen the homeowners or not.
The way he acted as they did, and they still had a couple of concerns, I guess, but that was all I didn't pry too much into
Right.
this conversation, but I guess they did go talk to the homeowners. And
So, I guess that's what I know about it.
Okay, anything else? If not, we can stand adjourned. Thank you.